Well, hey everyone. Welcome to this this kind of impromptu quick write tutorial. And this is something that I am truthfully just blown away about. By the way, I know this is streaming on 3 different platforms right now. It's streaming on my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, and my YouTube channel. If you happen to be on Facebook watching this, then go to streamyard.com/Facebook to give permission so that when you make a comment, because I can just see all the comments from all 3 platforms in one spot. I am not actually on those platforms right now. I'm on StreamYard. So for me to be able to see who's asking a question, who's making a suggestion, who wants me to type something in, then Facebook needs to give permission, or you need to give Facebook permission. It's kind of one time to do that if you're on Facebook only. So here is what I'm thinking about today. I want to tell you a little bit about kind of where this came from, and then I just want to show you how it is that I use this tool or have used it. It's brand new, so honestly, I haven't used it a ton because it's just been released. But I got to see a beta version of it and make some suggestions, and then have gotten to see this latest release and some of the things that CJ and his team are adding to this. And so I want to kind of walk through the function of it, where you'll find things, what the look and feel of it is. And then I want to go in, show you some samples that I created with it. And then I would love to take your ideas and and create some on the fly. Now, I created some samples ahead of time because sometimes, especially in the middle of the day like this, when the server is slammed, sometimes with some of the features that are creating longer content, it might take 30, 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes for it to generate the content. And rather than, I wanted to show you what it could come up with without having us stand here and go, So anyhow, I would love for you to say hi in the comments. I see people, more people are logging on from the different spots, and let me know kind of where you're from and if there's something specific you want to see. But a little bit of the background on this. I met CJ. Hey, Tom. And I met CJ, the guy who founded the company called Adazing, which is the company behind QuickWrite. And if you've ever heard of Mockup Shots or Author Lab, they're the ones behind that. And I first heard about CJ because he through Mockup Shots. So I saw an ad. Actually, there was a huge sale on Mockup Shots. If you don't know what Mockup Shots is, it's a tool that kind of you can upload your book cover, and then it can put that book cover, when you see pictures of somebody sitting against a tree outside reading your book, right? And rather than hiring a model to go do that, it can put those in different situations, or a stack of them on a table, or all that kind of stuff. And so if you've ever seen any of those types of things of my books, then you have seen Mockup Shots in action. So I bought that product from him. I was just a customer of his, and I just loved what he was creating. I loved some of what he did with Author Lab, which is a whole nother video because that's unbelievable as well. But his whole company is about helping specifically self-published authors get their book marketing taken care of, and covers and layouts and all this kind of thing. He's just resources for authors and marketing resources. And I just reached out to CJ. He had emailed me back, and I found out kind of through some things, I knew where he lived. He had mentioned that in one of his emails, and I had an event in that city. So I've gotten to sit down with him, and then we've had lots of chats. But he's just a fantastic guy, and one of those guys that is just brilliant when it comes to ideas and ways of sharing information. And when he came out with QuickWrite, if you've been, unless you've been under a rock the last few months, you probably heard of ChatGPT, or if you are a Microsoft and Bing user, you might have seen the Bing chat, but a lot of this AI functionality. And it's, I've been toying with it because I just kind of love the gadgets and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been toying with all of those, and they're amazing. But when CJ sent me something saying, hey, I've got this AI thing that I'm designing specifically for writers, specifically for people to generate writing ideas and outlines and all this content. You want to check it out? And I checked it out, and am just amazed at how much good content it creates, as well as how easy it is to use and how much time it can save. And so when I found out, you've probably gotten some emails from me, you've seen some things, you've seen me post some things, because right now it's going to be something that will be a subscription. People will pay a subscription because there are server fees with all this AI stuff and all this stuff that you don't even need to think about. But for the month of March, he is offering a lifetime access to it, where you won't have any membership fees forever. And that is, and I'll right up front, full disclaimer, it will redirect you. This is an affiliate link. It will get you the best price. It will get you the lifetime access. There isn't a way that you can get a cheaper price than that link right there. But for sharing this, CJ will give me a cut as a thank you for that. So full disclaimer, I am an affiliate, but I hope that unless you're brand new to me or my YouTube channel or something, then you know that I'm not going to promote something that I don't fully believe in. And this is a tool that I have now been able to check out, and I will be using it a ton. So having said that, I want to walk you through the layout and look and feel of it. I know that there are some people that emailed me that are on the fence on whether they think this is a tool for them. So I want to show you what it can do. And then also there are some people who have already purchased it, and they wanted kind of a walkthrough of, just almost the tutorial of it. So it's going to be a little bit of a combination of that. But as you see different things, jot down your ideas about what would be fun things to put into this AI creator QuickWrite. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let me know if you can see that just fine. Click a like button or comment. Let me know that you can see that. And when you log in, this is the main screen that you'll see that has kind of how to create a new product, the Academy, which is all the tutorial videos, which I'll show you in a second, ways that you can add feature requests, which I know for a fact that CJ reads those, not only because I know CJ, but also because I made a request that's already begun to be implemented, and it's only been a couple weeks since I made the request. And so I know that he's constantly trying to make this tool better, more effective, faster, more robust, all of that. And so the first, if this is something that you decide that you want and you go and you grab it after this, then I highly, highly recommend, since I'm only going to be able to spend whatever, I blocked out an hour. We'll see kind of how long we end up going. But this is something that you will want to walk through. He's created these tutorial videos that give you the basics of QuickWrite and how to use the AI images thing, which I'll show you in a minute. How, if you're specifically a fiction author, marketing stuff, nonfiction, how to use it best for blogging and what they call power mode, which I'll show you something insane that I created with power mode just within the last hour as I was setting this up. And so I just think you are going to learn so much if you decide to jump in. then you are going to learn so much just by watching these tools, because also some of that lag time of when you're waiting for 30 seconds for it to generate or 60 seconds, he's been able to edit that out. So a 9-minute video that he's got in there might take me 25 or 30 minutes to demo. So you're going to learn it, you're going to see it happening, and you're not going to kind of waste a lot of time. So I highly recommend doing that. Now, when you go into Power Editor, these are some of my samples, but I'm going to just pretend that I am creating a new project. So when you land here, you can either create new project here, or this orange button is always in the upper corner, and you just create a new product, and it will take you to, this is the main page that everything kind of operates in, how you use it. So you could give your document a title. If you're brainstorming ideas or you're working on several different projects, like this is, this up here is where I created the titles that you see when I showed that list right here, right? That list of everything. These are the titles, how it's going to appear in your own list. So give it whatever title that you want. And then again, I'm going to show you everything, and then we're going to go back and actually do some, just since we don't know how long the lag is going to be. I'm recording this at noon, right? Or noon right in the middle of the day. So I'm sure that server's active. But so here are the different types of content. There is fiction writing, nonfiction, marketing, promotion, or business stuff, blog writing, Power Editor, and the new, it's in beta even, but it's included in your lifetime access. Somebody just emailed me and asked me that this morning. Is the image creation included? And yes, it is included in there. And so the Create AI images. And so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna start with, I'll just go through. So in the fiction writing, what you would do is you would say, I'm a fiction writer, and you go in and here's the type of content. So are you looking for kind of plot suggestions? You have a basic idea, but you want some plot suggestions, or creating a character description, a book title, a book description. If you already have a book that's out that you're creating marketing material for, or wanting to update your book description that you would put on Amazon, then you could rewrite an existing book description and copy and paste that. A background, or get some backstory description where you put in a prompt. And again, I will actually do some of these things in a minute. But creating names for characters, story prompts that kind of get you, and writing prompts that kind of prompt you on the whole story idea, prompt you on writing a specific section where you can give some things, or create something else which launches within this fiction writing, within this project, launches that Power Editor, which you can also access just directly if you're just coming up with something that you just need quickly that doesn't fit in one of these categories. So there's the fiction writing. And okay, so I see somebody just every once in a while, I'll just look over. I see somebody said, does this work on computers as well, or is it only a phone, tablet app? It actually is a computer. It is something you do on your computer or laptop. I mean, just the power of it, and the layout and editing, formatting things, which I'll show you as we walk through some of the samples. I actually don't think I would want to do it on an app, at least not yet. So it is a computer based, but a browser based. So I'm sure you could do it on a tablet. It would be, unless you're coming up with just quick social media posts, which you can do on here, then I probably wouldn't do a whole lot of it on my phone. But I don't know a whole lot of people who do a whole lot of power writing on their phone. So anyway, there's fiction writing, and those are all the different pieces that you do. So if you said you wanted to create a book title, then you would put in, then it launches this, describe your book in a short phrase. You describe the book in a short phrase, and it gives you a bunch of titles. And this is where, this middle section is where the content would be generated. And then you move, once you've seen that, you can then move the content to the editor, where you can doctor it up and change formatting like it's a Word document. and then you can click save and create more content and move that over. So you end up with the book title and the characters and the descriptions and all of that in one document. And every time that you save it, it updates that and puts it in this list, right? And then you can even then you export it, and it will export it as a Word document. And so there's this process of kind of, first column is what kind of content am I wanting to work on right now? Generating that content. So putting the prompts in, generating that content. When you have some content, you can copy parts of it. You can move the whole thing over, whatever you want. And then you have it in there into your document. So you don't just end up with this garbled mess of everything all the time, which is what some people are struggling with some of the other AI tools that are not designed for writers. Is it's giving you everything from every possible scenario, as opposed to, hey, this type of content, this kind of outline, that kind of thing. So fiction writing is one. Nonfiction writing, it's got some of the things that are the same, book titles and book descriptions. And book description, what's the title of your book? So if you've done the title, then here's the title of my book, and this is it in a short phrase. It'll generate a book description. You've got that, rewrite it. Creating a book outline, I'll show you an outline that I created, and then a chapter outline. If you want to, then you've got your outline of your book, take your chapter, put it over there, kind of creating an outline, and then creating a content section. It'll kind of give you some basic the writing content itself, and then create something else. Again, launches Power Editor, but in this project. So whatever you're prompting it, you can paste over into your document. All these different things for nonfiction. For marketing, promotion, and business, this is one that I would love to play around with you guys later when we get into some of the samples, because it's kind of crazy, some of the stuff that, as far as, if you're coming up with a business or product name, I can't tell you that I've done a whole lot with the business plan, so I don't even know what it would come up with, because there's too much in here for me to come up with, to have tested everything out. But you've got, business product or service descriptions, creating email copy, video sales letter, creating that sales letter copy, which is, some people call a long form sales page. If you've ever gone to a landing page that has a lot of content in different sections and it's got a video at the top and selling a product, you can do that. A tagline or a social media post, Twitter post, some sales copy, or again, this Power Editor writes inside the project. And so we will definitely come back to some samples of this because it's super fun. Blog writing, and that will then, brainstorming article ideas. It's one of my favorite things about AI in general, and QuickWrite specifically, is the brainstorming of article ideas around, you put in a phrase of, for me, I read a lot about Bible study. And so I could say, brainstorm some article ideas. Maybe we'll do this later. Brainstorm some article ideas about teaching Bible study to beginners. And you'll see. Maybe I'll type that one in there. And then, what would the title be? And it's using AI to help you brainstorm titles that would search well and have good SEO, if you know that term, search engine optimization. So it's going to rank well. And then, what's the outline of that? And do you have an intro for this? And you kind of walk through this process of then generating the content and then going in. And again, you can always create something else and just access, almost more like a chat GPT thing, where you can put in a random prompt that doesn't fit a specific category to generate an idea for something, but keep that all within that same project. And then the Power Editor is just that, where you're just going in and you've got this brainstorming. You want to dump a bunch of ideas as detailed as you want into there. And I'll show you something that I created in the Power Editor this morning that will blow you away. And then the AI image thing that creates images. And so those are the different elements of it. And now I want to shift gears a little bit to show you some of what I did that took a little bit of time. You know what? Maybe we'll do this first. Let's do this. Since we're already in this creator, I want to go into this marketing piece and say you want to create a Twitter post, and you put in random things like, what are you creating a Twitter post for? I want to, invite people to my game night. And I have not done this. Just so you know, I'm typing this in. This is not a prompt I've used before. Game night at my church, whatever. So you're creating an event and you generate the content. So did you just see that little circle that went around? That's the suggestion that I made, because anytime you click generate content, in the lower left-hand corner, which might be covered up by my text and my picture on this live stream, but there's a little thing that says waiting for QuickWrite AI. But it was one of those things where I had clicked generate content a few different times because I didn't think it was doing anything. So I suggested, hey, if there was some way that we could see this was happening, then we could, that would be helpful. And I log in a week later, and in most of the sections that happens. There are a couple where I'm sure that they're having to write code for kind of the whole thing and how it works each one. So, hey, everyone, if you love board games and hanging out with friends, come join us for game night tonight at my church at 7 p.m. Snacks provided. # game night, # church community, # fun with friends. I mean, that fast. So I'll go, okay, I'm going to move that over to my work thing. And then I want another one. So I'm going to do this. Come join us for fun game night at church this weekend. There'll be board games, card games, snacks, whatever. And so I'm going to move that to the editor. Oh, I probably should have hit enter, right? Because you can enter this and you can just kind of create a bunch of ideas. And so I'm going to create that, move that to the edit. Oh, well, there we go. And you can just create a whole bunch of different ones. And there was one that I played with that was like, come to my NFL draft night party or draft party or something like that. And it not only created, oh yeah, so look at that. It's put all of the emojis in there and hashtags and all of this stuff that is just crazy for creating social media posts. So as far as if you've got a book or you've got a class or a workshop or something that you're doing, I would say you copy it over and then you edit a few of the things that you want to do. Put it in your own voice. I will say that while some of these things are copy and paste, I do think that it's very important as writers, as content creators, it is very, very important to make sure that you are putting things in your own voice to make sure you're serving your audience well. And so I know that CJ was even asked, can this thing write your whole book? And his first response was, I hate that question, because the assumption there is that you're lazy. The assumption there is that you don't want to do the work to serve your audience well. And while this is not a faith-based tool, you can use it to write any kind of content. I am a Christian, and a lot of the content I write is for faith-based people. And I think the idea, it's so important to keep at the front of our thinking that we are here to serve people and serve them well, not just to spit out content. So, but the amount of ideas that it can generate and all that. So then again, put that over there, generate some more content, and it creates a new Twitter post that you can put in there with no emojis, okay? And going on here. So, okay, so Tom asked, how does it handle faith-based content? So, I mean, I'll show you one of my examples. So having shown that with Twitter posts and other social media posts, like I'm curious, because again, I haven't been able to test out every single thing this thing can do. Let me put the same come to the game night at my church this Friday at 7 p.m. And then I want to generate, see if social media post, it might just be longer, right? Because it's not Twitter, so it's not limiting itself. Yeah, so that's longer content with some more details. And what I would say is if you're writing a really longer, robust one, you could generate some content, and that might say, hey, we'll have plenty of board games, like, what's your favorite game? You might put something in there, and it just triggers ideas. It's just constantly triggering ideas. And so I want to open up some of the ones that I did. So here was one that I did this morning. That was, and what I did is I went through a nonfiction book, kind of in a little bit of a step-by-step. So I went to nonfiction, and I went to create, give me title ideas. And I put in, so here's what so you'll be able to see what the prompt was. I said, teaching soccer to little kids. And when I typed in teaching soccer to little kids, it gave me, I honestly thought it was going to give me, because of the social media thing, and you just click generate to generate more, I thought it was going to give me one, maybe two ideas. By me typing in teaching soccer to little kids in book title, then it's something that it generated all 10, and I copied it over. Everything that you see here, other than me making this bold and larger so that you could see it better on your screen, every single thing you see here, I have not edited at all. Like, zero editing. I just put in the prompt that you see, and then I clicked generate content, and then I clicked move to editor, and I made the, and I typed in title idea, whatever it was that I was selecting here, and what prompt I used. So, soccer for little feet, a guide to teaching kids the game. And I put little kids, which later on I put to young kids, because for me, I was thinking in my mind, kind of the 2nd grade to 5th grade kind of a kid. And it gave me some ideas, because I said little. So it gave me some ideas for 2 to 5-year-olds and 3 to 6-year-olds and things like that. So then after I did that, I went in and said book description. And I copied, just to see what it would do, I copied the first, I think, what one that I liked. I think it was the 6th one there. So I just copied that, pasted it in here, and then in the describe your book, I just changed it to teaching soccer to young kids, and book description from prompt, and it gave me this whole book description. Then I took that, then I went in and I didn't do a rewrite. I said, create a book outline. So I went to this one and create a book outline for what? For a book about, and I put in teaching soccer to young kids. And it created this 15-section book outline, which, introduction to soccer and its benefits for children, the basics of soccer, understanding the equipment and rules, warm up and stretching, exercises for young soccer players. And it outlined that whole entire book. Now, I look at this and I would change some things. I might combine a couple things. I might delete some things. I might change the order of something, whatever it is. But it's pretty amazing as far as the amount of work that it could do quickly. And then I just decided to go and say, okay, what about creating a chapter outline? So I created a chapter outline, and I select the first chapter. That was my prompt, Introduction to Soccer and its Benefits for Children. And it gave me this outline, which I wouldn't paste in there. I would actually go in, and then I would write that chapter based on some of these that I thought were important. And again, some of things overlap, and it's no perfect thing. The goal of it is not to have it write your book, but to help you if you're stumped with something, or if you want to just start some ideas. I know that I want to do this.
what I've found is it ends up putting some things in there that I would have missed, right? Like number 6, when I was reading through this, for children from diverse backgrounds, soccer can also serve as a tool for bridging cultural divides and promoting social inclusion. If I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking like skill sets and what I actually have taught with people in the past. And it's, one of those things that just, I wasn't thinking about that in terms of the benefits. So it got me thinking about things that I would have never thought of, which I would probably include some of that. So that, and I didn't go through, but you could then go in and create a content section and say, okay, what would a section look like? And it would generate some paragraphs. So looking at that, going back, and then you kind of, again, generate more content. Let's just do it. I have no idea what it's going to do. I'm going to say soccer is a popular sport worldwide, and it provides numerous benefits for children who play regularly. This is, again, kind of getting into the example of content section on this, and I'll generate content. Okay, so this particular section didn't have the thing put in yet, but I don't know if you can see the bottom left-hand corner, but it does say waiting for QuickWrite AI, and I don't know, because I'm live streaming, I'm on my computer, it's the middle of the day, I don't know, it's thinking, I know that it's working. Oh, there it is. And I also don't know if this content section is going to be multiple paragraphs or if it's going to be, I don't know how long it's going to go. But I could then, while it's generating that, I can go and say content section on number 1, right? And this was my prompt over here, and I'll go over here, and it just moved that to the editor. So here is that first content section. That's how fast it created that. And so I could go in, and then I could either just export it right now, or I could edit it there, and I can just say, you know what, I'm going to go do something else now. So you click Save Document, and it clears it to your document saved, and you can go to something else. And now if I went into this later on, that Soccer for Kids book, that's my most recent thing I've been working on. And so it just popped it up to the top, and all of that new content would be in there. So Stephanie says, is that link the lifetime access to all the tools? Yes, it is. I know that deal right now is slated to be done March 31st. That's one of the reasons I decided yesterday to send that email out asking if people would be interested in this, and why I'm doing it right now. And I might do another one next Thursday, depending on what questions I get asked between now and then and what I get to toy around with. And if I see something cool that I haven't even discovered yet that I might show people. But yes, if you use Keith Farron, if you use this, here, let me take yours off of there. Yes, if you use keithfarron.com/QuickWrite, that should redirect you to a page where you can choose, I'm a fiction author or nonfiction author. It doesn't matter. It just is some of the videos that he's showing you what it can do. Because again, it's just taking you to the sales page. But through the end of the month, you should be able to go in and grab it for, I think it's $197, $199, something like that. Under $200, just barely under $200. And for lifetime access before it switches to the subscription model. Now, who knows? He might, in Black Friday, he might have one day where he offers a lifetime deal for $300 or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm not running his business, but I know that CJ is awesome, and he does have some subscription stuff for Author Lab, which is, again, a whole nother thing that I'll make a video about someday, but that I use all the time. But it's not an AI tool. It's just training and tools for author marketing things. But yes, that is the short answer. So I had somebody email me who wasn't going to be able to be on here, was going to watch this Later, somebody said, is it available in other languages than English? I don't think so now. I have no idea. I would email directly, support@adazing.com. If you have a specific question, Adazing. So the name of the parent company, the name of CJ's company is Adazing. And support@adazing.com will take you to his support team if you have a specific question about that. Because again, I don't work for the company. I just know CJ. I've bought his tools. I use them all the time. He's coming up with amazing stuff all the time, and I'm an affiliate for him. So if the tools of his that I use personally, I promote, and this is one of them. So, yeah. So somebody asked, have I compared this to other AI tools? Yes. And I'll be honest with you, if I am just in brainstorming mode, then I will typically come in here to the Power Editor, and I will go to ChatGPT, and I will go to the new Bing. So most people don't realize it, but Microsoft is one of the big one of the big backers of OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT. So a lot of the functionality of ChatGPT is built into the new Bing that just released in the last 2 weeks. And so I will typically go to all three. And if I'm just trying to generate ideas, then I'll kind of use all three. And if somebody was a super techie person by nature and knew how to word their prompts so that it would trigger a social media post or have this limited amount of characters, or including, I don't even know that, I've never seen anything other than QuickWrite include the emojis, but maybe the other ones do. I don't know. I just haven't tried that. But the other tools are unbelievable as well. What I just feel like is for the average person who just wants to write and wants a tool that is focused on, hey, I want something that's going to generate book titles, or I want character descriptions, then I just feel like the amount of time this will save while providing the creativity and writing prompts and all of that is so worth the $200. I don't know what's your time worth, but as soon as, if you're worth, even if you say that your time's only worth $20 an hour, something like that. Well, as soon as you save 10 hours, which you'll probably do halfway through your first project, then it's worth it. So anyway, and I don't even think I mentioned this, but Adazing on all of their products has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you get it and you check it out and you're like, you know what, for what I use it for, I can just use the basic version of ChatGPT or whatever, then great. Then they'll honor that. All right. So I had somebody email me who was not going to be able to join live, but was saying, hey, I was thinking and asked the same question that Tom asked about how does this handle faith-based inquiries. And so I will show you something that I did, that I just typed in, create a book outline, which you could use to create a course or a small group or something like that. And I used the prompt, talking to strangers about how they can come to know Jesus. That's what I typed in and said, create, I said nonfiction, create a book outline. I think I selected that. And then I typed in this prompt right here into this box right over here and click generate outcome. And this is what it came up with. Why talking to strangers about Jesus matters, building a foundation, understanding the gospel message, starting the conversation, tips on approaching strangers, listening and empathy, the keys to effective evangelism, overcoming fears, how to deal with rejection and pushback, and go and on and on. And so it's an AI tool, so I wouldn't use it to create a theological paper. But if you're looking, I would imagine that somebody like Greg, who emailed me this question, or somebody like you, Tom, you could take those 10 components and you could put your own wisdom, your own background, your own experience into that. And you would probably say, you know what, I would actually talk about this in this part, and I would add this. I'm going to make this a 12-week deal because they missed two things I think are super, super important, or I wouldn't word this like this, whatever it is. But imagine doing that brainstorming in 60 seconds, how far that would get you along. And my guess is it would catch some things that you hadn't really thought about. Cool. Oh, Craig, how you doing, bud? Man, I haven't talked to you in forever. If you're still in Minneapolis, let me know, because I'm going to be coming there this fall and I'd love to buy you lunch. So that's very, very cool. So then I'll just tell you, with this nonfiction piece, I then went to select create a content section, I think, and put in create a content section and why talking to strangers about Jesus matters, which is this one right here. I copied that, put it in, create a section of content for, and click generate content. It put it over here. I moved it. And again, this section 1, this is unedited. If somebody wants a piece of this, I mean, shoot me an email. I'm happy to export this document and just send it to you so you can see it if you want. Or you can go in there, if you bought it, you can go in there and check it out. And then if you're using, because I would use this nonfiction writing. I mean, you can use the nonfiction writing or even the blog writing to create that. But the meta description is what you see, like what shows up when somebody searches on a book, what has keywords and all that kind of stuff. So I think in the meta description, if you go into create nonfiction writing, create, where did that go? Maybe it was in the blog writing. Oh, there's meta description. So I ended up copying I think I ended up copying the meta description over when I typed in the article title of how to talk to strangers about Jesus. I think I ended up saying, oh, what if I turn this into a blog post? And so I kind of combined two tools when I was doing my initial playing around with this. But I went to blog writing, meta description, typed in the title of it and a little bit of what that was going to be for a description. And it came up with the meta description of learn the art of evangelism as we discuss how to talk to strangers about Jesus, discover practical tips to share your faith with confidence and love. So, so I think it handles, again, because it's AI, it's not tainted by a lot of the kind of other articles or beliefs of people, the politics of whatever. I mean, it's taking information, billions of pieces of information. It's searching the web and looking at styles and looking at content and pooling that all together. So, so that was an example that I would use to either writing a nonfiction book, outlining that, or some of the blog writing. In the blog writing, you know, creating article titles. I'm trying to think. Soccer for Kids book, how to talk to strangers about Jesus. Maybe I was thinking about that more in the blog realm of things. And then I'm not a fiction writer, but I decided to use something, just to show you an example. I decided to use something that I used to do with my 3 kids when I was little. I would tell these stories, teaching life lessons to my kids about this character named Samantha Small. So our oldest daughter is Sarah, and so her character was Samantha Small. And Samantha Small had a huge imagination, and I would make up a story, and I would teach some sort of a life lesson as we were going to bed. And so I came up with Samantha Small, and honestly, unfortunately, I never did turn any of these into books, although my kids had asked me to several times. And probably wish I had. So I ended up going in, and because I knew the idea, I went into this fiction writing, give me plot suggestions, and I said, here's the prompt: a little girl with a sister and a brother, because Sarah has a sister and a brother, a little girl with a sister and a brother who learned life lessons while going on imaginary adventures.
And it spit this whole thing out about this little girl. One day, a little girl and her siblings discovered a magical book that transports them to a land of enchanted forests and talking animals. So it just outlined Narnia. But then I went in and said, okay, how about a character description? Because again, I'm not a fiction writer, so I would imagine that some of my fiction writer friends could have a heyday with this, coming up with super creative things. But I just said the prompt: a girl named Samantha Small, right, who goes on imaginary adventures with her brother and sister. Create this character description, and it created this whole description about Samantha Small. And then I said, okay, how about a book title? And I used the prompt: Samantha Small learns life lessons while going on imaginary adventures with her brother and sister. And it generated all of these: The Adventures of Samantha Small, Where Imagination Leads, Dream World Escape. And I'm looking at all this thinking, okay, some of these are good, some of these, but Samantha Small's Big Lessons, Imaginary Adventures with a Purpose. It's kind of cool. Growing up with imagination. Samantha Small's Belief in the Unseen. That sounds weird a little bit, but it came up with 10. Again, I was kind of expecting it to come up with 1, and it came up with 10. So I was blown away. And then I was like, oh, my fiction writing friends talk about writing prompts being helpful. I'm like, so what would this do? Create a story prompt. What's the genre? And I put the genre young adult adventure. And what is the elements I would like to include? Life lessons through imaginary adventures. And it came up with, as soon as Bella. Now I didn't use Samantha Small, right? Because I didn't put it in there. I could have said, make the heroine's name Samantha Small, and she's got a brother and sister, but I just said life lessons through imaginary adventures. As soon as Bella stepped into her grandparents' attic, she noticed that something was different this time, and give this. Well, that paragraph would generate a whole bunch of ideas that would be crazy. So, yeah, this is a big question. Tom, you asked this question. Raise another question. Will what is produced pass a plagiarism check? And I will say that in the edge, I was just talking to my wife, Carrie. Those of you that don't know, my wife's a school teacher, and was talking to her about this. And I've got 2 thoughts on this. One is, I think in the educational realm, this is going to open up a can of worms that I don't know what they're going to do, because it's not searching specific documents. It's using information and styles and content. And again, it's AI stuff is fascinating to me and completely beyond all that I could understand. And it's something that that my understanding is it's not taking word for word of anything that's already been produced, which is one of the reasons why you can leave the prompts exactly the same, click generate content, put that over there, click generate content, and it'll create something a little bit different than it did because of what happens when it's thrown in there. It's not like, hey, show me the book on this, and the top 10 are actual books on Amazon right now, that kind of thing. It's an idea and content generator. So I don't think there's even anything for you to reference. So I don't know what's gonna happen in the plagiarism thing. My understanding is that there will be some lazy writers who have this create all their content, copy and paste, and start releasing it. I do think that it is going to create more junk books out there. But I also think for people who are writers, for people who generate content with the intent of serving their audience well, if you can, the people who put in who know their audience, know their ideal reader really well, and utilize that within the prompts to generate content and do research that is very, very in-depth and beyond anything they could really do on their own, and then take that and craft that using words. I just think if it's completely 100% AI generated, it will have probably good information,
but my guess is it won't sell well because people will feel like it's not really for them because the person who's writing hasn't thought about them. So that's, but as of right now, I don't know that there's anything they can do because since it's not finding a result the way that a web search, like going to Google, searching on something and finding it and copying and pasting it, it's not finding something that is already out there. And so therefore, by definition, it's not plagiarism. It is going to be the new way that people do research. And I'm sure there will be other tools that come out that are about generating content for books and generating social media posts and all that kind of stuff. But this is the only one I've seen that's $200 for forever. And the other, yeah, I absolutely agree. Thanks for that answer. From what I'm reading, this is powerful, a great starter, but a good creator has to put their voice and personality into it. Absolutely. I think it's going to be fantastic for idea generation, for outlines and all that. And you're going to need to put your own spin on it, which is what I've done with the projects that I've used it for. I also wanted to show you just the power of the Power Editor, which is more similar to the new Bing or to ChatGPT as far as creating anything. I want to go back. Where is that? Okay. So anytime that you're done here, you can save your document, which I didn't edit anything in here. So, and click this logo or click the X here, and it'll take you back to your thing. So I wanted to show you the Power Editor example. This to me just completely blew me away. I made up this morning, and then I want to show you the image creation tool. Because while I think the image creation tool has some ways to go, it is amazing in where it's headed and what it can do if you're trying to illustrate a book or something like that. So with this Power Editor example, here is the prompt that I used. I just said Power Editor, and then in here you can put anything you want as detailed as you want. So I put, and I'm just going to change this so that you can see it big. I put in here, create a 10-week course outline teaching people how to go from never cooking anything to becoming a master chef. Focus on Italian cooking. Make sure each week has a primary outcome and at least 3 steps. So that all of those different sentences, I truly had this right here and I typed it into this and I clicked generate content. And it created this whole piece here. So, I didn't want to do that paragraph. So, so I think it did. I would need to mess with this so it doesn't do it. Week 1, introduction to Italian cooking. With the primary outcome, understand the basics of Italian cuisine and kitchen essentials. Lesson 1, introduction to Italian cuisine and regional specialties. Lesson, Italian cooking ingredients and their uses. Lesson, kitchen utensils and equipment needed for Italian cooking. And then week 2, Italian food foundations. Week 3, Italian starters and antipasti. Week 4, pizza, focaccia, and flatbreads. Then 5, Italian soups and risottos, pasta dishes, meat, poultry, and fish, Italian vegetables and side dishes, and Italian desserts. And let's say that I then had that there, and I wanted to keep going. And I said, okay, I've cooked some of the meat, poultry, and fish stuff. I haven't done much with Italian desserts. So I'm just going to put in here, and we're doing this real time now because this is stuff I created so that it could do. I have no idea if this is going to be fast enough for us to do this on this live stream, but what is it? Tiramisu and variations. Find what is a good recipe for tiramisu? Serving size is 10 portions. I have no idea. So let's see. Okay. I don't know whether this is going to go or not. It says, so he's trying out some different things, because again, this is something that is so new that, you know, on some of the pages he's got processing your request right here. Others, it's down in the lower left-hand corner below what you see as the link to check out QuickWrite. It'll say waiting for QuickWrite AI, and then other times it'll be the green circle. So my personal thing, I'll send in a suggestion to him that I think he needs to go with the green circle, because the other ones are too easy to miss. I do like that in here he's got the opportunity not just to move content to the editor, but this copy content piece. And we'll see if it says processing it. So what I'm going to do is, while it's processing it, I'm going to see if I go back here and then I do a new project and I want to go to the image for beta. Okay, it looks like there's still some of you that are on here. Somebody give me an image you would like to see created. Like, give me somebody put an animal in the comments, and somebody put a location, and somebody put a number of people, and we'll see what it comes up with. You know, I don't know what the delay on this is, so we might not be quick enough as far as some of these, but I will. Let me see if it came back while we're, no, it's still thinking. So in this image creation, okay, so a valley path surrounded by mountains and an elephant, okay, and a frog. Okay, so I'm going to say an elephant and a frog in a valley near mountains. With a ball. I don't know. I don't know. And so let's say I want it to be more cartoon illustration type. Or hey, let's go with animation. This animation is kind of cooler. But no, I'll go with illustration. I've tried the stuff. I've tried everyone except the illustration. I've never tried this. Oh, so this is one where he's got. So this is what I want. The green deal is what I want. And so it's not searching. Obviously, it's not searching for that. Okay, so it found the elephant. Does it have a frog in there? I don't know, but I'm going to move that content to the editor, and I'm going to try a different one and see what happens. Sometimes I've actually had it come and it creates like 4 images or something like that. Oh yeah. So look at that. I mean, that is bonkers to me. So there's a frog, there's an elephant in a valley, there are mountains. I said with a ball, and I don't know, maybe there's a ball of something and it's not realizing I'm thinking sports. I don't know. But that, and I create another one, and let's just see, I'm just going to do 3 and see what other people say here. Wow, that is so cool. A lot faster than Fiverr. Yeah. So I don't think I would use something like this to create my book cover, but maybe it would give me an idea, and it would give me the first generation. Like, honestly, if I was creating something like this, I could take this second picture and send that to a professional cover designer on Fiverr or something like that, and say, hey, I love the look and feel of this. Would you be able to create a book cover that feels like this with these characters and this image? So this has taken a while now, so I don't know. Let's see what so I don't know. Again, I'm doing a whole lot of things right now and have a lot of things open, and I'm live streaming, and again, we're also in the middle of the day. I don't know that this would be better if it was 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. But some of the things are super fast. We'll see what happens here. But But some of the marketing and promotion stuff, the email, I would say, again, for ideas as opposed to having it be your finished copy. Oh, it says, can you please give me more information about what? I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what it just did here. It says processing request, but I don't know if it actually is the tiramisu one. So I'm just going to refresh this and see. And I don't know what it's thinking I didn't want to do here. Select a type of content, a tagline for, what was this? Talking to strangers about Jesus, for an article title, how to talk to strangers. That's probably the tagline, actually, about Jesus. What do you need the tagline for? A poster. Maybe it's going to be a class that I'm going to do. Create a section of content. I don't know. Example, introduction to a chapter. I don't know. I'm just making all this up. Create a section of content for, I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone and see what happens with experience the world through a different perspective. I don't know. So I don't like that. Let's try another one. Powerful words, bold impact. See it all in one glance. I don't. So I don't know. I mean, I saw some things with products like, marketing and promotion. Yeah, like a tagline for. I saw somebody doing a product or something like that. Like, what was it? A candy or something like that. Like they were trying to create one that was a candy that's fizzy or something like that. And a billboard, or maybe try a wrapper. I don't know. Wrap it up. What do you need a tagline for? So again, some of the prompts, I don't know. I don't do product marketing a whole lot as far as that. Enjoy the ultimate flavor-filled experience. But it might be one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not going to use that as my tagline, but I might use this, the ultimate flavor-filled experience, right? So cool. A lot faster and fun. Yeah. So yeah, you can check it out on QuickWrite. Go to keithfarron.com/QuickWrite and look at some of the videos he's got on there. He's got a specific page. I would recommend going there and selecting the page for fiction and then selecting the page for nonfiction, watching some of CJ's videos. The guy that's in the video, very briefly, he doesn't like doing video stuff, but the guy that's in the video is CJ, the redheaded guy, and just an absolutely fantastic guy. Neat Christian brother. So love hanging out with him when I can. And anybody else have any? We've kind of gone an hour and 2 minutes. So I was thinking about an hour. So if anybody has any questions or something they want me to type in there just to see what would happen, I'm happy to do it. Otherwise, I will log off for now. And if you're watching this much later on YouTube or something like that, and it's after March of 2023, then the lifetime deal might not be available. But one of the reasons I use this redirect link is that I can always update that link to go to whatever the best deal it has. So if CJ is running a sale on QuickWrite, a Black Friday sale, or anything like that, and I know that he's got a good deal, or he's discounted the membership, or whatever it is, or that subscription, then I will always redirect the link you see in this video to whatever the best deal he has on QuickWrite right now. And if he changes it a lot, if he adds some functionality, then I will create more videos for that. If you're watching this on Facebook and you want to watch a replay, I would suggest going to my YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/Keith Farron, or you can search at Keith Farron once you're on YouTube, because obviously videos are hard to find once Facebook gets rid of stuff. But I will put this in a playlist, so it's easy to find. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel specifically for like ministry tools and resources that I use. So this will be in that playlist later today or tomorrow. So, all right, everybody, we will see you later. And email me if you have any questions or comment here, and I'll see the comments on YouTube and I'll reply as best as I can. Or you can check out and email support@adazing if there's a technical question as opposed to a how I use it question. All right, everybody, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.